Hi, Will Swain from Marketing Results, and in this video and the upcoming 3 videos, I'm going to share with you a proven blueprint for generating a steady and consistent flow of quality sales leads and ideal clients using digital marketing and marketing automation strategies. Because if there's one thing I've learned over the last 11 years since starting Marketing Results, it's that prime, juicy prospects who are an exact fit for what you do are always a scarce, sought-after commodity. Think about it. If I find you 10 highly qualified prospects and sit them down in front of you, how many could you convert into a customer or client? I'm willing to bet you could convert at least 7, maybe all 10. So more than anything else, it's likely that a lack of qualified, ready-to-buy sales opportunities is the critical constraint that is putting the handbrake on your business growth. So that being the case, in this video series, I'll be sharing with you our formula for systematic lead generation that has been developed and refined after working intensively with over 384 organizations and testing with more than $22 million worth of live online traffic. And the aim of this video series is to answer the question, how can your company generate a steady and consistent flow of inbound sales leads and ideal clients online, especially if your service or product is complex? And by complex, I mean industries such as financial services, property services, business services, educational training, consulting, B2B sales, major product sales, or any industry where you have a lead to sales conversion process and where the buying process requires research and consideration as opposed to an impulse buying situation. If you're having difficulty attracting the volume of new clients or customers you desire to power your next level of growth, I'll hand you our framework for attracting prospects and using lead enrichment techniques to get them to a state where they are willing, ready, and able to engage with your sales function and become your client. If you have a long sales cycle, where it takes many weeks or months for prospects to commit to a purchase decision, you'll see how these strategies can be used to shorten your path to yes, using persuasion and automation as opposed to effort and brute force. And finally, if you're not getting enough traffic to your website to create the sales results and the impact you want, you'll get specific traffic generation tactics you can deploy right now, plus actionable tips on how to make your existing traffic generation campaigns more profitable. My aim for you is that by the time you've watched all 4 videos in this series, you'll have not only an actionable framework for generating a steady and consistent flow of leads online, but also plenty of specific ideas, tips, and strategies that you can take to the bank, whether or not you ever do business with Marketing Results. And I want to emphasize that everything you're about to see has been tested and proven to work in the real world. Allow me to share with you just 3 of many client success stories to give you a sense of the kind of results companies have been able to achieve using these methods. Like Fuji Xerox Australia, who were able to double their lead flow in 90 days with lower marketing costs. Or Trilogy Funding, who successfully generated 549 qualified mortgage broking leads in 3 months. Or the College for Adult Learning, who experienced 300% more sales with 60% lower cost per sale. Now that you know why we're here and what we're going to accomplish, let's take a few moments to preview what to look forward to in this series. In today's video, we're going to unpack our high-level strategy for creating an effective and systematic online lead generation engine. In video number 2, we'll cover website conversion and how to attract more ideal clients into your business. In video number 3, we'll be making a deep dive into high-octane traffic generation. And in video 4, we'll tie everything together with marketing automation and implementation strategies. The 4 chapters in this series are like the interlocking cogs of your sales lead machine. Each has their part to play in delivering a consistent and steady flow of sales opportunities and squeezing higher and higher results from your digital presence. So let's move on to the meat and potatoes of this first video. On your screen is what we call the Sales Lead Machine Blueprint. And this is the master map we use to build out effective online marketing and sales funnels. The blueprint is designed to align 3 tracks: the buyer's journey, automation, and content, to create a revenue generation system that frees you up to do your best work. Let's begin with the buyer's journey, because especially if what you sell is complex or expensive, potential customers aren't going to just pop in out of nowhere and hand you their money. Instead, they will tend to transition through a mental and emotional buying process. First, in the awareness stage, your prospect becomes aware of a need, problem, or desired result that can be met via your product or service. Then as they gather more information, they will enter the consideration stage, in which they start considering potential solutions and comparing options. Finally, in the decision stage, they're ready to take action and invest in your solution. So your goal with this blueprint is to meet the customer where they're at in the buyer's journey and give them the right content supported by the right automation to push them down your marketing funnel to a point where they're ready, willing, and able to buy from you. Big-time business guru Peter Drucker said, "The purpose of marketing is to make selling unnecessary." And that's what you're doing here. You're putting in place a marketing system that spits out ideal prospects like a Toyota production line. Now let's drill down into each step in the Sales Lead Machine blueprint and look at some real examples so you can really visualize and get a sense of how this works in practice. At the top of the blueprint, prospects and website visitors are in the early awareness stage. They're looking for answers to preliminary questions related to the goals and outcomes they want to achieve via your services and products. For a mortgage broker, maybe the early stage prospect wants to know what's the best interest rate right now. For a property investment specialist, perhaps the question on the prospect's lips is, where are the best suburbs to invest? And for a training company selling project management courses, potential students might be curious about what's the average project manager salary. You get the idea. And authoring specific content that answers these awareness stage questions is the best way to get on your prospect's radar while they're still in the early stages of the buying process, and certainly before your competitors do. The way you do this is to publish question answering content in the form of blog posts that are optimized to attract visitors from search engines. This is a concept we'll be revisiting in more detail in video number 3 on traffic generation. Question answering blog posts can be effective at attracting visitors, adding value, and demonstrating thought leadership, but on their own are unlikely to land a fresh, ready-to-buy sales lead on your doorstep. To do that, you need to push the prospect deeper into your funnel. And you do this with what we call top-of-funnel offers. The most common top-of-funnel offer is to give away access to premium content such as a special report, white paper, video series, or online tool. No doubt this concept isn't new to you, and yet many marketers of complex services struggle to build really big, responsive lists. So there's obviously a right way and a wrong way to craft your top-of-funnel offers and build your list. In the next video, we'll zoom in further into this topic and share some live case studies which will show you exactly what you need to do to get strong opt-in rates and attract the right sort of clients into your funnel. But for now, I just want to make sure you understand the strategic objectives of a good top-of-funnel offer. The first critical feature of a top-of-funnel offer, and one that most people get wrong, is that it focuses on providing problem-solving information, not on directly selling your product or service. Prospects will eventually become receptive to that message. But remember where they are in the buyer's journey. They're at the awareness stage. And at this stage, the key is to lead with value first. Why do you do this? One reason is to show them you can solve their problem by actually solving their problem, by giving them tips and ideas they can put into practice, even without your help, and see tangible results. Nothing builds trust and reciprocity faster. The second reason is that you want to set the prospect's buying criteria. If this is a new concept to you, let's look at an example of exactly what I mean by this and why it's so important. Here's the top-of-funnel offer from Breaking into Wall Street. BIWS is the world's largest online training company for students and entry-level professionals wanting to break into the hyper-competitive field of investment banking. This is a special report called the Banker Blueprint. It contains a heap of tips and advice on the best way to go about getting a job in investment banking. And at the same time, it establishes that if you really want to break in, you need to be very polished in a number of key areas, including interview skills, networking, and technical financial modeling. These topic areas also happen to be the same areas that are covered in Breaking into Wall Street's paid training courses. So setting the buying criteria is ensuring that the prospect has the right decision-making criteria on their shopping list. Your prospect doesn't know the best way to buy your service or product. You need to educate them. What information do you need to communicate to your prospects when they're in the awareness stage so they can make a better decision around buying what you offer? Do this well, and you're setting the perfect foundation for the next layer in the blueprint, where you start to introduce your products and services more directly. Your prospect is now educated about your industry, and they now have a basis on which to evaluate and consider solutions. Not for nothing is this called the consideration stage. And in the consideration stage, the timing is right to direct prospects toward web pages and offers that invite the prospect to contact you or otherwise engage with your sales process. The example on your screen is for an enterprise-level print manager with a 6-figure price tag. So to recap on the strategy so far, step 1 is to attract early awareness stage prospects with question-answering content that you make freely available on your blog. Step 2 is to motivate interested prospects to opt into your email list using a premium content offer as bait. In step 3, you educate the prospect and set the buying criteria. And in step 4, you direct the prospect to selling content that promotes your products and services based on the buying criteria that you've already set. It's a little bit like the stage hypnotist who suggests to their subject that when they see a certain object, they'll start dancing and clucking like a chicken. And sure enough, when that object appears, off they go. Now, this series is specifically for marketers of complex services and products that are typically high-priced, have a long sales cycle, or involve more decision-making complexity. So you might need to break your marketing process into even more pieces in order to allow prospects to slowly but surely inch closer and closer to becoming your client. Not using manual labor-based badgering techniques, which don't work very well anyway, but instead using attraction marketing methods that draw the prospect ever closer to you. And the next step that makes sense for many businesses is to plug in a middle-of-funnel offer. Whereas in your top-of-funnel offer, you should be 90% focused on problem solving and 10% focused on selling, a middle-of-funnel offer achieves more of a 50-50 balance between the two. Middle-of-funnel offers introduce your company as the vehicle for achieving the prospect's desired outcomes. To make this concept more tangible and concrete, here's a very solid template for you to use in your middle-of-funnel offers. How your brand can help target market, solve problem, or achieve result. Here's an example. Marketing Results has published a print brochure that acts as one of our middle-of-funnel offers, and the title is How Marketing Results Can Help You Drive More Qualified Leads and Ideal Clients Online. The logic is that anyone who puts up their hand and requests this brochure wants to achieve these outcomes, but they're also open to how marketing results can be the vehicle to achieving those outcomes. In summary, a middle-of-funnel offer is a tool to help you deepen your dialogue with prospects who are in the consideration stage, while continuing to build value in the mind of the prospect throughout the sales process. Let's move on now to the next layer, where we have fire starter offers, which are typically low-cost DIY products that are a great way to not only add an additional revenue stream, but much more importantly, to identify your highest potential prospects. Because a prospect who goes from simply absorbing free information to actually spending money with you, even a few dollars, is many times more likely to invest with you further than a prospect who hasn't spent $1 with you. Let me give you an example. Patrick Bright is a property buyer's agent in Sydney. He helps homeowners and investors locate and buy the right property at the right price, and his core service typically costs north of $10,000. Rather than assuming that all website visitors are ready to engage in a discussion around that sort of investment, he's published a series of books. Now, he's never going to get rich by selling books, but Patrick has worked out that anyone who invests in a book is many times more likely to become a good prospect for the full service than someone who has merely received free information. His Firestarter offer helps him to focus his marketing and selling energies on the most receptive prospects, where most of the future revenue lies. A book is one example of a Firestarter offer. Physical information packs or DIY kits are others. The point is for these offerings to be the next logical step in the process of engaging with your business on the way to becoming your ideal client. So here we are at the bottom of the consideration stage and toward the decision stage. And at this stage, you deploy bottom-of-funnel offers in order to generate sales-qualified leads. A typical bottom-of-funnel offer is a free consultation, audit, quote, test drive, or other high-engagement inquiry that culminates in a purchase decision. Certain prospects may be ready to leapfrog to this stage right away, without opting into any of your previous offers. And sometimes this is a good thing, but it can also lead to your sales process becoming clogged up with unqualified leads that take a lot of time, effort, and resources to close. This is almost as bad as having too few leads. And it also explains why you go through all the effort of promoting top-of-funnel and middle-of-funnel offers to ensure you nurture prospects to a point where they're ready, willing, and able to buy. Here's an example of an effective bottom-of-funnel offer lead capture page. This is for EPR, a high-end career consultancy dealing with executives and professionals. In the next video, we'll unpack some of the key conversion elements of this page, including headlines, copy, and proof elements, so you can understand what makes it work so well as a bottom of funnel offer page. Next, at the very bottom of the sales lead machine blueprint, we have sales process automation. This means using customer relationship management or CRM systems to automate, streamline, and standardize your sales process. Here's a flowchart of the sales process that we implemented for a financial services client. Each of the boxes represents a different stage in the process and the various decision points that can occur along the way. This automation makes it 3 times more efficient to deal with sales inquiries than the old manual way, and more importantly, ensures that it gets done the same way every single time, regardless of who the salesperson is and regardless of whether they're having a good or a bad day. As you'll no doubt appreciate from everything we've covered today, the role of digital marketing is much deeper than merely ranking at the top of Google or getting more leads with AdWords. Its purpose is ultimately to maximize revenue, profit, and growth in your business. And to do that, you need an overarching strategy and framework that aligns your messaging right from the first click through to the client signing on the dotted line. That framework is exactly what we've just covered. And with that in place, we're going to drill down into immediately deployable strategies and tactics in the upcoming lessons. Next up, we'll talk about how to maximize the appeal of your website and the conversion rate of your offers, before looking at how to drive hordes of targeted visitors in video number 3. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.